We chase a horizon that always recedes, a mirage of someday where all our dreams finally take root and bloom. It's a universal human condition, isn't it? This deep-seated belief that happiness, true contentment, or even just a moment of peace lies just beyond the bend, waiting for us once a certain condition is met. We tell ourselves, I'll be happy when I get that promotion, or when I find the right person, or even when I finally have enough money. Each promise is a carefully constructed excuse, a reason to defer our own joy. This endless waiting game, this constant postponement, exacts a heavy toll. It's not a dramatic, soul-crushing pain, but a persistent, low-grade hum of dissatisfaction. A feeling that we're always on the verge of something better, but never quite there. It's this gnawing sense of being perpetually stuck. Our vital energy slowly siphoned away by the sheer effort of holding onto a future that never arrives. And real quick, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. Now let's keep going. Our minds are the master architects of this illusion. They paint the future with hues of perfection, crafting a version of ourselves and our lives that is somehow more capable, more deserving, and more ready for happiness than we are right now. This mental construction convinces us that the present moment, with all its imperfections and challenges, is simply a holding pen, a place to endure until we're deemed worthy of flourishing. These whispered promises of later are more than just idle thoughts, they are hidden chains. They bind us to a reality that exists only in our imagination, a phantom future that prevents us from truly engaging with the life we have right now. And as we struggle against these invisible bonds, a crucial question emerges about what truly holds us captive and how we might begin to break free from this cycle of postponement. Hermes Trismegistus, that ancient sage known to us as Thoth, offered a profound revelation about time. He didn't speak of clocks ticking or calendars turning, but of something far more fundamental. He taught that to truly master your reality, the first and most crucial step is to master yourself. This isn't about controlling external events, but about controlling your inner world, your very perception. The ancient texts whisper truths, suggesting that time itself isn't some unyielding river flowing ceaselessly forward, independent of us. Instead, it's revealed as a dimension of our own consciousness. It's a fluid experience, intimately shaped by what we are aware of in this very moment. This is where the real power lies, not in bending external circumstances, but in bending the lens through which we view existence. This leads us to a startling realization. The present moment, the eternal now, is the only true point of power. It's not just a fleeting instant, but the nexus, the gateway where all possibilities converge, and where reality can genuinely be influenced or even created. All our hopes, all our fears, all our efforts to change things are only effective when anchored in this immediate awareness. By grasping Thoth's wisdom, we begin to see beyond the perceived linear trap of yesterdays and tomorrows. We can transcend the illusion of a fixed, unchangeable past or a predetermined future, accessing a far more profound and potent dimension of existence. The true unfolding of time, and therefore of life, is not an external march, but an internal mastery. And understanding this unlocks how we can truly begin to shift our experience of it, moving beyond mere survival into a realm of conscious creation, which we'll explore next as we delve into the mechanism of this internal shift itself. The ancient wisdom whispers a profound truth: the universe itself is mind. This isn't just a philosophical musing, it's the foundational principle of mentalism, the first of the Hermetic laws. Imagine reality, everything you see, touch, and experience, not as solid, independent existence, but as a magnificent, intricate projection from a single, universal consciousness. Our very perception of time, those fleeting moments of past, present, and future, is woven from the fabric of this grand mental tapestry. It suggests that what we consider objective reality, including the relentless march of moments, is in essence a thought form, a dream dreamt by the cosmic mind, and we are participants within it. This understanding fundamentally redefines our relationship with time. If all is mind, then our thoughts and beliefs aren't mere observations, but the active architects of our perceived timeline. The past we remember, the future we anticipate, the very when of our existence, is sculpted by the constant stream of our consciousness. Each belief about yesterday, each hope or dread for tomorrow, solidifies the mental scaffolding that holds our temporal reality in place. It's a startling revelation that the future we long for, or the escape from past pain we seek, is not an external destination, but a mental construct actively being built by our present state of mind. This brings us to the astonishing power of the present moment, when we truly internalize that our thoughts are the architects of when. We begin to see the illusion of later for what it is. The constant pull towards a future solution, a future happiness, or a future escape, is a mental habit that keeps us tethered to a timeline that may not even exist as we imagine it. By deliberately shifting our entire focus, our very identity, to the nowness of this instant, we begin to dismantle that mental framework. The anxiety over what's to come and the regret for what has passed both lose their grip. For in this radical present awareness lies the true power of conscious creation. When we grasp that our thoughts are not just reflections but generators of our reality, we understand that any solution, any desired outcome, can only be brought into existence through the conscious act of creation now. The idea of waiting for a future moment to fix things is a surrender to the very illusion we are learning to dissolve. The power to shape our temporal experience, to manifest what we desire, is not held in some distant tomorrow, but resides entirely within the present, waiting to be claimed. A truth that leads us directly into understanding the energetic signature of this creation. Every atom, every thought, every possibility is in a constant state of flux. Nothing truly stands still. The universe hums with an unending vibration, a chorus of movement that includes even our deepest feelings and most fleeting ideas. This ceaseless motion isn't just a physical law, it's the very fabric of our temporal experience. Our perception of time, the relentless march of minutes and hours, is but an echo of this fundamental principle. We are all, in essence, vibrating beings, and the frequency we emit is the compass that navigates our journey through what we call time. This vibrational state acts as a magnet for our experiences. The way we feel, the thoughts we entertain, don't just pass through us, they lock us into a specific point on a perceived timeline. If your emotions are steeped in anxiety about what might happen tomorrow, or regret for yesterday's mishaps, you are not truly present. You are tethered to a vibration that keeps you fixed in those states, making the future seem like a distant, unattainable shore and the past a haunting specter that will not fade. To truly inhabit the now, we must deliberately tune our inner frequency. It's about consciously elevating our vibration to resonate with the untapped potential that exists in this very instant. This isn't about forcing positive thoughts, but about a genuine alignment with the energy of the present moment. When we match the vibration of now, the illusions of a delayed future or an unchangeable past begin to dissolve, revealing the vast possibilities that were always here. The persistent echo of later, the feeling that our true solutions or happiness lie somewhere beyond this moment. Often stems from a deep-seated vibrational state of lack. It's the resonance of anticipation, of needing something more, that keeps us perpetually looking ahead. This lower frequency binds us to a cycle of waiting, a self-imposed temporal prison that can only be broken by consciously raising our vibration, moving us closer to understanding how this resonance shapes our reality. When we feel the sting of regret or the chill of anxiety, we're experiencing a fundamental truth about how our minds construct reality. It's the principle of polarity at play, showing us that opposites are not so different after all. Think of heat and cold, or light and dark. They feel distinct, yet one is simply a lesser or greater degree of the other. This same law applies to our perception of time, revealing a surprising connection between what we believe are separate experiences. This awareness then leads us to understand that our deeply held beliefs about the past and the future are not independent entities, but rather two sides of the same coin. The regret that anchors us to yesterday and the anxiety that pulls us toward tomorrow are actually just different manifestations of our detachment from the present moment. They are the extreme poles of an experience that exists only when our awareness is elsewhere, not in the vibrant, pulsating now. This realization offers a profound pathway, a great leap to the center of our being. By consciously recognizing the shared essence of past regret and future fear, we can begin to transmute these powerful emotions. We can stop letting the pendulum of our emotions swing wildly between what was and what might be, and instead find the stillness, the immense power of simply being present. This understanding of polarity is the key to escaping that relentless swing and grounding ourselves firmly in the only time that truly exists. The universe pulses with a grand, unseen rhythm, a cosmic heartbeat that echoes in everything from the turning of planets to the rise and fall of empires. This is the principle of rhythm, a fundamental truth that governs the ebb and flow of all existence, and crucially, our own perception of time. We feel its influence when days seem to fly by in a blur of activity, and then suddenly decelerate into long stretches of apparent idleness. It's the breath of creation, an inhale and exhale that dictates the cadence of our lives and the unfolding of events. This inherent rhythm often tricks us into believing in a passive later. We tell ourselves we must wait for the right time, for a celestial alignment or a surge of inspiration that will supposedly make things easier. This deceptive tide of later whispers that our current efforts are futile, that progress will only arrive when the universe decides it's time. It's a seductive illusion, one that encourages procrastination and breeds a sense of helplessness, making us feel like mere passengers on a journey dictated by external forces. But Hermetic wisdom offers a different path, a way to navigate these universal tides without being swept away. We are not meant to be passive observers waiting for the perfect wave to carry us. Instead, we are called to become skilled surfers, recognizing the incoming swells and learning to ride them with intention and grace. It's about understanding that the rhythm isn't a prison, but a powerful current we can learn to harness. By mastering our inner state, by anchoring ourselves in the unwavering now, we can begin to create our own momentum. We can establish a personal rhythm of action, a steady beat of purposeful creation that transcends the fluctuating external currents. This isn't about forcing things, but about aligning our inner volition with the natural energetic flows, allowing us to move with power and precision. Understanding this rhythm means we can stop waiting for time to grant us permission and instead become the architects of our present. But what happens when our personal rhythm clashes with the perceived urgency of the world around us? The universe operates on an unbroken chain. Every cause, no matter how small or unnoticed, inevitably births its effect. This is not a distant judgment, but a fundamental law woven into the very fabric of existence. We often fool ourselves, imagining a vast gap between our choices and their eventual outcomes. We plant a seed of thought or action and then dismiss it, fully expecting the harvest to arrive in some far-off, unquantifiable later. This illusion of delayed causality is where we lose our power. We believe that what we do now only matters in some abstract future. So we defer responsibility, pushing our dreams and our consequences into an ever-receding horizon. But the truth is far more immediate. The present moment, this very breath you are taking, is not just a fleeting point in time, it is the infinitely fertile soil. It is the absolute origin, the single point where every thought, every intention, every word, and every deed is sown. Your present consciousness is the active architect of your future reality. Every immediate choice, every unexpressed desire, every silent intention is a seed being planted. If you wish to experience a particular effect, a desired outcome in your life, you must become that cause in the present. You must emanate the energy, embody the belief, and act as if the result you seek is already unfolding. To draw your desired future into your experience, you must embody its causation right now. Understanding this immediate link between present causation and future effects is key to mastering your reality. But what happens when the effects we perceive around us seem to contradict our present intentions? The universe itself hums with a fundamental creative force, a duality woven into the very fabric of existence. This is the principle of gender, not merely about biological sex, but about the inherent masculine and feminine energies that drive all creation. It's the spark of action and the grace of receptivity, the outgoing urge and the inward embrace. You see this principle everywhere, in the dance of atoms, the growth of a plant, the very thoughts that flicker through your mind. It's the active, initiating impulse and the fertile ground that receives and nurtures that impulse into being. Without both, nothing truly comes into existence. When we defer our desires, pushing them into a nebulous later, we often create an unfertilized potential. It's like planting a seed and then walking away, waiting for some unspecified future harvest. This later becomes a masculine principle, a seed of intention, cast out into the void, desperately waiting for a feminine, receptive moment that never arrives in that imagined future. But the true magic, the potent spark of creation, doesn't reside in some distant tomorrow. It resides in the eternal, receptive feminine of the now. Your present consciousness is that womb, pregnant with infinite possibility, ready to receive and manifest any intention. This means true creation is an immediate union. It is the active, masculine intent of your present desire being fully embraced by the receptive, feminine consciousness of this very moment. When your inner masculine and feminine energies align right now, birthing reality becomes not a future event, but an ongoing, immediate manifestation. And this immediate union is the key to unlocking the deepest levels of your creative power. But what happens when this internal alignment feels impossible? Your inner world is not separate from the world you experience. It's a perfect echo. The ancient Hermetic principle, as above, so below, speaks to this profound connection, and it extends to our perception of time. Just as the stars above mirror the oceans below, your internal landscape paints the canvas of your outer reality, especially when it comes to how you experience the passage of moments. This isn't just a philosophical idea, it's a working law of consciousness and manifestation. When your inner state is filled with a sense of waiting, of later, of putting things off. The universe conspires to reflect that very delay back to you. You'll notice your external circumstances mirroring this internal procrastination. Projects stall, opportunities seem to slip away just out of reach, and the feeling of finally arriving at your desired outcome becomes perpetually postponed. It's as if your consciousness itself is creating invisible barriers, holding back the flow of events. This is why aligning your inner state with the vibrant power of the present moment is so crucial. It's about consciously choosing to inhabit the now, not as a passive observer, but as an active creator. When your thoughts, your feelings, your very beliefs resonate with the energy of immediate possibility, your outer world must, by the law of correspondence, begin to shift in kind. Your perception of time is not some objective, unchangeable river. It is a direct, faithful mirror of your consciousness. To alter your experience of time, to break free from the drag of delay and embrace the immediacy of manifestation, you must first change what's going on inside. The outer will always, inevitably, reflect the inner. This mirroring principle holds the key. But what happens when the external world seems to have its own powerful rhythm that defies your internal alignment? The Emerald Tablet, a text whispered about in hushed tones for millennia, doesn't just hint at the power of the present moment, it screams it. But to truly hear its message, you must become the seeker it addresses. Its words are not a straightforward instruction manual. They are a cosmic riddle, a test of perception. To grasp its deepest secrets, one must be willing to look beyond the literal, to feel the pulse of meaning beneath the surface. The true initiate understands that the wisdom here is not given, but revealed. It demands a turning inward, a quietening of the external noise so that the subtle whispers of truth can be heard. This ancient text guides us to a profound understanding that transcends the ordinary. It speaks of separating the subtle from the gross, a metaphor that resonates deeply with our journey. Think of it like sifting through sand to find a precious gem. This isn't about physical separation, but a mental and spiritual one. It's about discerning the eternal, ever-present truth from the fleeting, illusory dance of past regrets and future anxieties. We must learn to see the solid earth of the now, distinct from the flickering fire of what was or what might be. This mental alchemy is the first step on the path of true ascension. The Emerald Tablet hints that real progress isn't about traveling to some distant, enlightened future. It's about a conscious upward movement through the very planes of consciousness that create the illusion of time's linearity. We become trapped when our minds are fixed, replaying old scenes or projecting fabricated futures. True mastery, as Hermes Trismegistus reveals, is found in transcending these mental constructs, in realizing that the entire spectrum of experience is accessible from a single, powerful point. This point, this singular nexus of all potential, is the bridge. It is the pathway to unlocking all the universe's hidden power. But this bridge is not some distant, shimmering mirage on the horizon, a destination to be reached after countless lifetimes of effort. It is the conscious, deliberate application of your present power, right here, right now. This is not a future event, but an immediate, accessible reality that lies dormant, waiting for your recognition. What happens when we truly grasp that this moment itself is the sole currency of creation? The vast expanse of all that is, the entirety of existence, is ultimately mind. This is the bedrock of Hermetic wisdom. Everything we perceive, every experience, every dimension is but a thought, a vibration within this infinite, universal consciousness. To believe otherwise is to be lost in the shadows, mistaking the reflections for the light itself. If reality is indeed mind, then where do concepts like later truly reside? They are not etched into the cosmos, but rather are mental overlays. Convenient narratives our minds construct to navigate the flow of consciousness. Later is a story we tell ourselves, a comforting postponement that keeps us from the raw power of the present. The actual fabric of existence, the only place where mind directly touches manifestation, is the eternal now. This moment is the unfiltered source, the pulsating heart from which all experience springs forth. When we see later for what it truly is, a mere mental construct, a shadow cast by our own perception, we begin to dismantle a profound illusion. It is in this deconstruction that we reclaim our inherent creative authority, recognizing that the power to shape our reality resides not in some imagined future, but squarely within the boundless potential of this very moment. But if the future is merely a story, what does that reveal about the true nature of our creative power and the illusions we must shatter next? This section reinforces the concept that reality is a mental construct, specifically focusing on how later is one of the most powerful illusions constructed by the mind and sets up the exploration of the illusion of separateness. You are not a spectator watching time tick by, waiting for destiny to arrive. The truth is far more potent, and it lies within you. Your very essence, your true identity, is that of a conscious creator, the architect of your experienced reality, not in some distant tomorrow, but in this very breath. This is not philosophy, it is the fundamental nature of existence. The habit of waiting, of believing that your power lies in a future that will eventually manifest, is a shadow persona. It's a role you've played, a costume of later that has obscured your true radiance. But this costume is not fixed. It can be consciously, deliberately shed, piece by piece, like an old skin. To truly step into your power, embrace the identity of one whose every action, every intention, vibrates with immediate creative force. The creator in you doesn't negotiate with time. They infuse the present moment with their will, shaping what unfolds as it unfolds. This profound shift in identity is not something to strive for in the future. It is the ignition, the spark that begins your spiral of inner transformation right here, right now. As we move forward, we will explore the next illusion that binds us. The illusion that keeps us from fully realizing this creator identity. This identity shift from passive waiter to active creator is crucial, but it reveals a deeper challenge. The illusion of separateness that prevents us from truly embodying the now. We often fall into the trap of wishing, of swimming in the warm currents of hopeful emotion, believing that strong feelings alone can summon our desires. This is the realm of emotion-based manifestation, a beautiful sentiment, perhaps, but one that misses the core of how reality truly shifts. Hermetic laws are not swayed by fleeting feelings or hopeful prayers whispered into the void. They are immutable principles, operating with the precision of cosmic gears, demanding more than just a wish. The arena where these profound laws play out is not some distant future landscape. It is exclusively the vibrating, breathing, undeniable present moment. Manifestation, in its purest form, is not about what you hope will happen, but the immediate, undeniable effect of your present causes. It's the echo of your current vibrational state, the direct consequence of your actions and intentions that are aligned right now. To truly manifest, you must embody the cause in the present. This means more than just wanting something to appear. It requires a crystal-clear intent, a sharp focus that cuts through the fog of doubt. Then it demands action, action that is not a desperate reach for the future, but a deliberate, aligned movement within the now. This is how you plant the seeds for what is to come. This is where true vibrational alignment for manifestation is found. It's not in imagining the feeling of having something later. It is in your present state fully and completely resonating with what you intend to create, as if it is already a tangible part of your reality. It's about becoming the vibration of your desire, here and now. But what happens when the illusion of separateness makes this present alignment feel impossible, leaving us feeling adrift from our own creations? What happens when we feel utterly disconnected, as if our own inner world has no bearing on the external one? This is the subtle, pervasive illusion of separateness, a veil that obscures the fundamental truth of our interconnectedness and our innate power to shape reality. It whispers that we are isolated islands, buffeted by external forces, rather than sovereign architects of our experience. This sense of being separate is profoundly disorienting. It plants the seed of doubt, making us question if our actions, our thoughts, our very existence truly matter in the grand scheme of creation. We look outward for validation, for direction, for solutions, instead of recognizing the boundless wellspring of creative power that resides within us, in the very core of our being. When we perceive ourselves as separate, we automatically create a perceived distance between ourselves and our desires. The thing we want becomes out there, something to be reached for, pursued, or acquired. This chasm, this imagined gulf, is the primary obstacle to experiencing the seamless flow of manifestation according to the Hermetic laws that govern existence. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, operates as a unified field of energy. Every particle, every thought, every intention is interconnected. The illusion of separateness is the mind's construct, a protective mechanism perhaps, or a consequence of deep conditioning. But it is undeniably a barrier to experiencing our true nature as creators. It is this perceived wall that we must learn to dissolve. Understanding this illusion of separateness is not just an intellectual exercise. It's a critical step in dismantling the barriers that prevent us from stepping fully into our creative potential. It's about recognizing that the external world is a reflection of our internal state, and that true power lies in tending to that inner landscape. But how does this illusion of separateness manifest in our day-to-day experience? And what subtle chains does it forge around our will? The illusion of separateness manifests in countless ways, often so subtly that we don't even recognize its influence. It's in the feeling of powerlessness when faced with challenges, the belief that external circumstances dictate our fate, and the constant search for external solutions to internal problems. This perceived isolation breeds a deep-seated anxiety, a constant hum of unease. When we feel separate, we tend to resist the flow of life. We fight against what is, desperately trying to force outcomes that align with our expectations, rather than surrendering to the present moment and allowing our intentions to guide us. This resistance creates friction, hindering the smooth operation of cause and effect, and creating a bottleneck in our manifestation process. This resistance often stems from a fear of not being enough, a fear that we lack the inherent power to create the reality we desire. We look to others, to external authorities, to future possibilities for the validation and strength we should be drawing from within. This reliance on externals perpetuates the cycle of perceived separation. It's a subtle dance of denial, where we deny our own creative authority and assign it to forces outside ourselves. This denial is not malicious. It's often born from a genuine misunderstanding of how interconnected everything truly is. But the consequences of this perceived disconnection are immense, impacting everything from our relationships to our ability to manifest our deepest desires. Recognizing these subtle chains is the first step toward breaking them. It's about becoming aware of the moments where we mentally erect walls between ourselves and the world, between ourselves and our potential. But what are the specific subtle chains forged by this illusion? And how do they keep us from truly realizing our creative power? One of the most insidious chains forged by separateness is the feeling of being a victim to circumstance. When we believe we are separate, we externalize all responsibility. We blame the job, the partner, the economy, the universe itself for our predicaments. This victimhood mentality robs us of our agency, leaving us feeling helpless and powerless to change anything. Another chain is the constant comparison to others. If we are separate, then others are somehow inherently different, perhaps more fortunate or more skilled. This leads to envy, jealousy, and a sense of inadequacy. We measure our worth against an external benchmark, forgetting that our path is unique and our inner power is unparalleled. This illusion also breeds a fear of connection itself. If we are separate, then vulnerability is dangerous. Opening up, being authentic, risks rejection or hurt. So we build emotional walls, masking our true selves, which further reinforces the sense of isolation and prevents deep, meaningful creation. And perhaps the most subtle chain of all is the denial of our own divine spark. The belief that we are merely physical beings, separate from a larger consciousness, disconnects us from the source of all creation. This denial limits our perspective and prevents us from tapping into the infinite potential that lies within. But how do we begin to dismantle these chains and perceive the underlying unity that binds us all? To dismantle these chains, we must begin to actively cultivate a sense of unity, a conscious awareness of our interconnectedness with all things. This isn't a passive realization, but an active practice, a daily affirmation of our place within the grand tapestry of existence. It's about shifting our perception from one of isolation to one of belonging. This practice involves looking for the threads that connect us to others, to nature, to the universe itself. It might be as simple as acknowledging the shared humanity in a stranger's eyes, appreciating the intricate dance of energy in a falling leaf, or recognizing the universal laws that govern our individual experiences. Each act of recognition weakens the illusion of separateness. We must also begin to consciously redirect our focus from external validation to internal recognition. Instead of seeking approval from the outside world, we turn inward, acknowledging the inherent worth and creative power that resides within us. This inner acknowledgement is the first step towards reclaiming our sovereignty as creators, undoing the damage wrought by perceived isolation. This process is not about eradicating individuality, but about understanding that true individuality flourishes within the context of universal unity. It's about realizing that our unique expression is most powerful when it is in harmony with the greater whole. But as we start to dissolve these perceived boundaries, what new horizons of understanding begin to open up? And what deeper truths about our consciousness emerge? As the perceived walls of separateness begin to crumble, we start to witness the profound interconnectedness of all things. This isn't merely an intellectual concept. It's an experiential dawning, a visceral understanding that what affects one affects all. We begin to see the universe not as a collection of isolated entities, but as a single, pulsating organism of which we are an integral, inseparable part. This awakening reveals that our consciousness is not confined to the physical body. It expands, reaching out, merging with the universal consciousness. This expansion brings with it a sense of infinite possibility, a realization that the creative power of the universe is not an external force to be harnessed, but an intrinsic aspect of our own being, waiting to be recognized and expressed. We start to understand that our thoughts, our emotions, and our intentions are not just personal experiences, but ripples in the cosmic ocean influencing the whole. This awareness brings a profound sense of responsibility, but also an exhilarating sense of empowerment. We are not merely observers of reality, we are active co-creators, participants in the ongoing symphony of existence. The illusion of separateness, when dissolved, reveals the fundamental unity that underlies all manifestation. It shows us that the separation we perceive is merely a veil, and behind it lies a reality of boundless connection and shared essence. But what happens when this fundamental unity is fully embraced? And how does it redefine the very nature of our will and our intention? When we fully embrace this fundamental unity, the concept of will undergoes a radical transformation. It ceases to be a force of struggle, a desperate attempt to impose our desires upon an unyielding reality. Instead, it becomes a gentle, aligned expression of the universal creative impulse flowing through us. Our intentions are no longer personal demands, but rather a conscious participation in the unfolding of the greater cosmic design. Our actions then arise not from a place of egoic wanting, but from a deep inner knowing, a resonance with what is in alignment with the universal flow. There is no longer a perceived separation between our inner world and the outer manifestation, because we understand that they are intrinsically linked, two aspects of the same unified reality. This is the essence of effortless creation. Our focus shifts from controlling outcomes to embodying the present moment as a space of pure potential, infused with the energy of unity. We trust that as we align ourselves with this greater consciousness, our desires will manifest not through force, but through the natural unfolding of a unified reality. It's a dance of surrender and creation, perfectly balanced. This embrace of unity redefines our relationship with the very fabric of existence, moving us beyond the limitations of a separate self. But what happens to our perception of time and space when this deep unity is realized? And how does it affect our ability to manifest in the now? The realization of profound unity dissolves the perceived boundaries of time and space. They are no longer linear constructs, but fluid dimensions within the unified field of consciousness. The past, present, and future are seen not as separate points on a line, but as coexisting realities within the eternal now. This allows for a deeper understanding of how our present intentions can influence all points in time. Our ability to manifest is no longer constrained by the limitations of a physical, chronologically bound existence. We understand that by aligning our consciousness with the unified field in the present moment, we can influence the very essence of what is to come, and even revisit and transmute the past. It's a holistic approach to creation, where all aspects of our being and existence are interconnected. This unified perspective allows our intentions within the now to resonate across all dimensions of reality. It's like throwing a pebble into a perfectly calm, infinite ocean. The ripples extend in all directions, touching everything. Our present state of being becomes the primary creative force, shaping not just our immediate surroundings, but the entirety of our perceived reality. Therefore, our focus remains resolutely on cultivating this state of unified presence. It is in this state of absolute oneness, beyond the illusion of separation, that the true power of manifestation in the now is unlocked, allowing us to shape our reality with effortless grace and profound understanding. But what are the ultimate implications of this unified consciousness? And how does it lead us to the final, most profound understanding of creation? The ultimate implication of unified consciousness is the recognition of our inherent divinity. We are not separate, insignificant beings adrift in a vast universe. We are, in fact, expressions of the universal consciousness itself, endowed with the same creative power that brought everything into existence. This realization is the apex of our journey, the final truth that unlocks the full spectrum of our creative potential. This understanding transcends mere intellectual comprehension. It is a profound, soul-deep knowing. It means that every thought, every intention, every action is not a personal endeavor, but a divine co-creation. We become conduits for the universe's infinite possibilities, manifesting not just our desires, but the highest and most beneficial expressions of universal will. It's the ultimate letting go of the ego's need for control and the embrace of divine orchestration. We understand that true creation arises from a place of perfect alignment with the source, a state of being where the individual will and the universal will are indistinguishable. This is the culmination of all the principles we've explored. This profound realization of our divine nature, born from the understanding of unity, leads us to the ultimate secret of creation, that it is not something we do, but something we are. It is the final unveiling of why the now is the only true point of power, and how to live perpetually within its boundless potential. But what specific practices can help us embody this divine nature? And how do we integrate this profound truth into our daily lives to truly live as creators? To embody this divine nature and integrate this profound truth, we must cultivate practices that consistently anchor us in the present moment and foster a deep sense of unity. Meditation, mindfulness, and contemplative prayer are powerful tools. These practices quiet the incessant chatter of the ego, allowing us to connect with the deeper, unified consciousness that underlies our being, revealing our inherent divine spark. We must also actively practice gratitude, not just for what we have, but for the very essence of existence itself. Gratitude shifts our energetic frequency, aligning us with the abundance and perfection that is the true nature of reality. It's an acknowledgement of the divine gifts we have always possessed, rather than a plea for more. Furthermore, engaging in acts of service and compassion helps us dissolve the illusion of separateness by actively extending ourselves to others. When we uplift, support, and connect with fellow beings, we reinforce the understanding that we are all interconnected parts of a single, divine whole. This outward expression of unity solidifies our inner knowing. Finally, it's crucial to reframe our understanding of challenges. Instead of viewing them as obstacles to overcome, we see them as opportunities for divine expression, for the unfolding of our inherent creative power. Each situation becomes a canvas upon which we can paint with the colors of unity and divine intent, demonstrating our mastery. But as we live from this place of unified divine being, what is the ultimate, overarching truth that governs all creation and allows us to truly grasp the nature of the eternal now? The ultimate, overarching truth that governs all creation is the principle of perpetual becoming. Reality is not static, it is in a constant state of flux, an eternal unfolding. Understanding this perpetual becoming means recognizing that the now is not a single point, but an infinite doorway through which creation flows incessantly. Our role is to be conscious participants in this ongoing process, not passive observers. This principle also highlights that there is no end point to creation or to our own evolution. We are not striving for a final destination, but are engaged in an eternal journey of growth, expansion, and co-creation. The universe is continuously creating itself through us, and we through it. in a dynamic, interconnected dance that never ceases. This eternal unfolding means that every moment, no matter how small, holds infinite potential. It is within this continuous stream of becoming that we find the true essence of the now, not as a fleeting instant, but as the timeless platform upon which all existence manifests. It is the foundation of all reality, the source from which everything emerges and to which everything returns. Therefore, by embracing perpetual becoming, we align ourselves with the very heartbeat of the universe, understanding that our greatest power lies in consciously participating in this eternal flow. But what is the final, foundational secret that allows us to truly grasp the nature of the eternal now? And how does it tie together all the principles we have explored? Your breath is a constant, undeniable anchor to the present moment. It is a tangible point of reference in the ceaseless flow of time, a rhythm that is always happening now. Feel it filling your lungs, expanding your chest, then exhaling with a gentle release. This simple, physical act grounds you, pulling your awareness back from the swirling currents of what was or what might be. It's an ever-present portal. Always available, always real. Recognize your thoughts as fleeting mental events. When you notice yourself drifting into memories or projections, observe them without judgment. These thoughts are like clouds passing across the sky of your awareness. They are not the sky itself. You are the sky, vast and unchanging, while the thoughts are temporary phenomena that do not define your present reality. This simple act of mindful observation liberates you from their grip. Commit to taking the next, smallest, most aligned action towards your goals now. Don't wait for the perfect moment or for all conditions to be just right. Perfection is an illusion that delays progress. Identify the very next manageable step and take it with focused intent. This intentional action, however small, creates momentum and shifts your identity from a waiter for the future to an active participant in your own unfolding. Use affirmations that firmly root your power and existence in the present tense. Statements like, "I am creating this reality now," or "My power is fully active in this moment," reinforce your identification as a creator now. These aren't mere words. They are vibrational tools that recalibrate your perception and imprint the truth of the eternal now onto your consciousness. From these practical applications, we can see how the ancient wisdom offers a clear path. But what deeper understanding unlocks the true mastery of this present moment power? The illusion of later is a cage built from fear and doubt, a temporal mirage that promises a future where things will be better. But what if the very act of waiting is the only thing holding you back? Imagine that the transformation you crave isn't a destination, but a doorway, and that doorway is the present moment. Dissolving the myth of later means recognizing that every inner shift, every external change you desire, can begin right here, right now. The barriers crumble not through prolonged effort towards a distant goal, but through the sudden, radical act of claiming your power in this instant. To truly master time is to master yourself. It's about understanding that your perception of time dictates your experience of reality. When you stop chasing the horizon and anchor yourself to the ever-unfolding present, you gain dominion over your thoughts, your emotional landscape, and the very fabric of your existence. This isn't about controlling external events, but about mastering your inner landscape, which then, inevitably, shapes your outer experience. The perceived flow of time becomes a river you can navigate, not a tidal wave that sweeps you away. The eternal now is not a mere point in existence. It is the boundless, pulsating heart of all potential. Think of it as an infinite reservoir of energy, a nexus where spirit and matter converge, waiting for your conscious intent. This present moment is not a fleeting instant to be endured or rushed through, but rather the ultimate power source, vibrant and alive with every possibility. Your conscious engagement is the key that unlocks its boundless power, transforming passive existence into active creation. The awakening you seek is not a distant journey towards a perfected self that may or may not arrive. It is the profound remembrance of the powerful, creative identity you already embody in this very now. You are not a work in progress waiting for future completion. You are already the architect, the artist, the creator. All the wisdom, all the power, all the transformation resides within you, waiting to be recognized and claimed in the radiant light of the present moment. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.